Makes sense when Rory talks. Rory 8 shots back 3 times in his PGA Tour career. Brandel, he has come from 7 or more behind after 18 holes to win, including Wells Fargo last year when he was 8 shots back after the opening round.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's probably going to look at this year, barring what happens over the next 3 days, with some disappointment. But from a lot of aspects, it's been one of his better years on the PGA Tour. Certainly from a scoring aspect, his scoring average right now is lower than it's ever been at any point in his entire PGA Tour history, which speaks a lot to his overall consistency. His strokes gained total is the best on the PGA Tour, so nobody better in that regard. And the sum total of the 4 major disciplines, you know, off of the tee, approach shots, around the green, and putting, you add it all up, and it's been a stellar year. But of course, it matters most what you do in the major championships, the biggest events, and the guy on the right, well, he's had the most success between these two, certainly, and arguably of anybody this year, winning the Players' Championship, and then, of course, prevailing with that stunning 64 in the final round of the Open Championship to essentially steal it. And you can't say he stole it from Rory, because Rory was also beat by another player, Cameron Young, who was, I would argue, the overall favorite to be Rookie of the Year. So Cameron Smith has had just a stellar year. I mean, maybe at the end of his career, you'd say it's the best year he's ever going to have. And unfortunately, there's a lot of rumors, which I think are fairly well substantiated, that he's leaving and off he goes to live. So it may well be the last official PGA Tour event that we ever see Cameron Smith play. Of course, he'll play in major championships by way of his victory at the Open Championship for at least for the next 5 years. But as far as it relates to PGA Tour events, this could be it. This could be the swan song for, you know, a player who I would argue, and others would argue differently, but I would argue I think it will hinder his advancement from a competitive standpoint, going to events that don't have as strong of fields and don't play 72 holes. The entire environment there, I don't think, is conducive to bring out the best golf in golfers on the biggest stage. Now, I may well be proven wrong. 5 years from now, maybe sitting here and we're talking about him continuing on with his major victories over the next 5 years. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
When I look at these two players right here, particularly side by side, if I could build a prototype PGA Tour player, I would take some elements of the game from both of them. Rory's a better driver. Cam Smith's better around the greens. But the big difference between these two players, in my mind, is the personality. And if you take a look at McIlroy on the left, he has taken on the mantle of the PGA Tour. He has become brilliant in the media centers. He is almost a spokesperson. He did a press conference in Atlanta the week of the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup finale on Wednesday morning. Just a lot of things that he's doing right now that are really good for the PGA Tour. Cam Smith is a different kind of personality, but he has yet to been put under the pressure of what could be a situation where he is almost the best, you know, role model or sort of spokesman that this new league could ever have, if in fact he goes there. And will he be able to kind of fulfill the role that might be expected of him, which is going to be a different kind of role than he's ever been under? That's going to be a lot of pressure on Cam Smith that he hasn't really faced. Now, I think it's pressure on Rory in a lot of ways. But for Cam, it's going to be a different kind of situation.
Cam Smith has had 3 memorable Sundays in 2022. Don't forget what he did at your home, yep. Kapalua, that final round, first event of the calendar year, 34 under par.
John Rahm's still shaking his head going, how did I not win this thing?
To beat John Rahm, and then the shot at 17 at Sawgrass, he took on that right hole location, and then the 64 at St. Andrews. It's heady stuff.